Maintaining a country smile in a sophisticated setting, the city of Charlottesville is a haven in Virginia's hills and a place to call home. We'll meet two Charlottesville architects who restored their 1820s house and revived an historic Thomas Jefferson design. Calming paths and favorite perennials at the University of Virginia become the ultimate garden lounge. Plus, embedded in railroad history, one Charlottesville neighborhood remains a central station for city life. These captivating homes, neighborhoods, and gardens next.
Oh, Charlottesville is a wonderful place.
Tucked among the rolling foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, the pastoral scenery surrounding Charlottesville, Virginia, provides plenty of country charm.
The whole town has somewhat of a rural feeling in a way, compared to major cities, which is very nice.
For the nearly 40,000 residents, lush vineyards, rustic horse farms, and even an historic tavern contribute to the city's small-town atmosphere.
It's a city where the residents feel comfortable saying hello to the mayor.
Charlottesville is located in the heart of Virginia, where it's a 1-hour drive to Richmond and 2 hours to Washington, D.C. So close to the nation's capital, Charlottesville is sometimes called the cradle of democracy.
What makes it what it is today is the ever-present link to the past.
3 U.S. presidents have called Charlottesville home: James Madison, James Monroe, and Thomas Jefferson. It was Jefferson, the 3rd president of the United States, who left an indelible mark on the city.
Thomas Jefferson was the only president of the United States that was also an architect.
The architecture here is very what we call Jeffersonian. Thomas Jefferson lived here for many years, and he really is the founder of a lot of the architecture style that you see here in Charlottesville.
From Monticello, his mountaintop estate, to the University of Virginia, which he designed and founded in 1819, Jefferson's brick neoclassical style can be seen in buildings all over the city, including Michael Bednar and Joe Lawson's 1827 home.
Well, it could be called federal in some ways, or also Georgian.
But the couple's home is definitely Jeffersonian in style, filled with his unmistakable touches, like the large front portico, the Tuscan columns, and the Chippendale railing on the balcony. Another Jefferson signature is the triple-hung sash windows.
The windows, yes, they are one of its more amazing features.
The couple lives in a downtown neighborhood named after Jefferson's wife, Martha. This rural setting in the middle of the city is explained by the community's fertile beginnings.
The whole area came from this one farmland. And so the homes that you'll see today are all homes that came about in the latter part of the 19th century. So they will be homes that are very rural and very vernacular.
It was their home's Jeffersonian history that first attracted Michael and Joe. But even as architects at the University of Virginia, they had their doubts about its recovery from neglect.
Well, when we bought the house, it was not in a livable condition, so we had to totally restore it.
Now, after 9 years of living in the house, the interior fully expresses the couple's modernist tendencies.
And what is so amazing and so comfortable is that our 20th century furniture resides very well in this 19th century house.
But Thomas Jefferson's classic architectural touches are still quite evident.
Jefferson, for some reason, did not like stairways. And in his house at the university and in this house, the stairway is pushed to the side so that it is not evident when you first walk in to the house. In fact, when you walk into the house, you see right through the house from the front to the back, so it connects the landscape in the front of the house to the landscape that's in back of the house.
heart pine floors laid in a single strip and detailed fan-shaped moldings. From floor to ceiling, the couple fell in love with the house.
It's just a very comfortable and livable, wonderful house.
Both of us feel really fortunate being in this house and for having had the opportunity to buy it and restore it and live in it. And I think you couldn't have written a better script for two architects and what their future might hold.
A few miles east of downtown, two residents are writing a different kind of script. Gardeners Peggy Van Yaries and her husband Mike live in a neighborhood called Woolen Mills, where many of the homes are on larger lots.
A lot of people have big yards. There are a lot of vegetable gardens in this neighborhood because of that.
In their spacious yard, Peggy and Mike laid out long rows of vegetable beds.
We probably have grown and in cycles grow every possible vegetable that can be grown in this area.
A trained pear tree creates an ornamental opening leading uphill to the couple's stucco home.
We have a heavy clay soil here, which is good because it holds moisture, is less desirable because it's difficult for many plants to grow in.
Because they're both landscape designers, Mike and Peggy know that temperature extremes and drought are the challenges of Charlottesville gardening. So they've taken several planting precautions.
We use mainly native plants for the structure of the garden because it's a sure bet that they're proven to be survivors in this climate with whatever extremes may come along.
But the Van Yaries do have a few exotic plant examples, like the giant elephant ears that shelter the garden pool.
I think it is special because it's a humble garden. It's not high design. Oftentimes when you think of gardens, you think of the pleasure grounds of the very wealthy. It is not that.
The couple says it is eclectic, and their unique landscape symbolizes some of Charlottesville's strengths.
The diversity of people, the depth of experience they've had, I think that's a real part of the soul of Charlottesville.
Next on A Place to Call Home. From his garden perch off the front porch, one resident firmly plants himself and his family in Charlottesville.
Get ready for the next British invasion. Homefront is fun, funky, stylish, and ultra hip. Watch Homefront tonight at 10:30 on Hgtv.
Mercedes, BMW, Suzuki. Under the conditions of a recent Insurance Institute for Highway Safety 40-mile-per-hour crash test, each of these SUVs received the highest overall rating of good. Yet the Suzuki XL7 costs nearly $20,000 less. And that makes the XL7 not just a safe choice, but a smart one. Lease a Suzuki XL7 today for just $249 per month with only $1949 to start.
So done with this.
Cavit Pinot Grigio from the Cavit collection. Make it interesting.
Sheila.
Josh, let me in.
Oh, thank you. I gotta have some of this. And our microwave's broke.
Sometimes you gotta have the Mac. Kraft Easy Mac. Need a snack? Snack the Mac!
Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on Hgtv. Up next, Surprise Gardener. Then on Design at 9's Room by Room, it's time to go shopping for area rugs. We'll show you what to look for. And at 9:30, stick around for Decorating Sense tonight on Hgtv, Home and Garden Television.
Is luxury living your fantasy?
This is the ultimate mogul mansion.
Don't miss Fantasy Open House tonight at 10 on Hgtv.
It's a real meeting place for everybody in the town. You'll find as many students there as you find people that are working citizens in the city.
Downtown Cville, as they say, gets into the swing of things on Friday nights. Charlottesville, Virginia's free concerts attract quite a crowd, and the lawn fills up fast for Fridays after 5. Another popular people-watching spot in the city is just a short walk away on the quaint bricked pedestrian mall.
Charlottesville's pedestrian mall really is the heartbeat of this town. It would be hard to imagine Charlottesville without its community living room.
Just a few blocks from the pedestrian mall is the Ridge Street neighborhood, named for the high ridge upon which it sits. The neighborhood is just a 5-minute walk south of downtown, and the trip is even quicker by bike. It's an easy ride for residents Maurice Cox, Giovanna Galfione, and their children.
Despite all the hills in Charlottesville, it's a great town to bike. When we came to Charlottesville, we were determined to make this bicycle lifestyle work. And so far, it's working beautifully. I've been here for 8 years now and still don't have a driver's license.
Maurice and Italian-born Giovanna chose Charlottesville for its laid-back lifestyle.
Well, I like the atmosphere. It's very charming, not too hectic.
And they picked the Ridge Street neighborhood for its convenient location and historic homes, from craftsman style to Victorians.
I think when we first toured neighborhoods of Charlottesville, we were attracted to this one because this looked like Virginia.
The couple was also attracted to the diversity of the neighborhood and the long history of integration.
It was important to us that we would be in a neighborhood that would be receptive to all kinds of people, and we found that.
After moving in, Maurice also found the perfect place to get to know his neighbors, his front yard garden, where he spends a lot of time planting perennials like mums along the front path.
So everyone has a sense that they know you or they can see you on a daily basis, and I think that helps you feel like you're a part of a community.
He says he found it easy to grow new friends, along with thriving foliage.
The house is about 60 or 70 feet from the street, and so there's an ample area, planting area, and it gets a full afternoon sun. So the nice part is anything grows there.
As architects, both Maurice and Giovanna are especially appreciative of their home's grand Greek Revival features, like the pilasters and pediment above the front porch.
I like it because it has such character. You know, you come around that corner and you see this house sitting back from the street and you kind of say, wow.
The couple says the home's interior architecture fits their family well.
Really, it's accommodating all our needs in terms of space. It's really very, very generous.
White walls accent an art collection in the living room, a quiet spot for reading and relaxation. While the music room is usually filled with sweet sounds and musical memories that may last a lifetime for Azura and Alexander.
Yeah, I can imagine my kids are going to look back and have really fond memories of the house they grew up in.
Maurice and Giovanna say the city's historic notes and cultural harmony keep them in tune with everything Charlottesville has to offer.
When I was shopping around for a place to call home, this one stuck out. It's an easy place to become comfortable and to call home.
Coming up, when the father of American democracy meets Mother Nature, the result is a spectacular Charlottesville garden.
Thomas Jefferson was himself a great gardener and horticulturist.
That's next on A Place to Call Home.
Only Time Warner Cable brings together AOL high-speed broadband, HBO and Cinemax, and digital cable at huge savings, now for a limited time. Get all you love about America Online, now even faster. Plus, talk on the phone while you're on AOL. Get great entertainment with the most channels of HBO and Cinemax, plus the clarity and choice of digital cable, all from Time Warner Cable. Don't miss your chance to get free installation and huge savings. Call Time Warner Cable at 1-888-763-2487 to order now.
Got a dream? Make it happen. Roadrunner High Speed Online wants to help make your dreams come true with these great prizes. Then enter the Winning Beginnings Dream It Do It sweepstakes from We, Women's Entertainment by Active and Motrin for your chance to win 25 grand. Log on to roadrunner.com for details. Get inspired. Watch Women's Entertainment Sundays in March, Women's History Month. Don't just dream it, do it. Awarded highest customer satisfaction among high-speed internet service providers by J.D. Power & Associates. Call now and ask for Roadrunner.
Every day, lots to do, never get completely through. But when it's time for us to eat, I make the meal complete.
Nothing completes the meal like grand biscuits.
My heart to yours.
More like this.
Want expert help whenever you need it? At Office Depot, our people listen, understand, and help.
How can I make these look like they're not just from my home office?
Some digital.
It'd be nice if everything was like that. Office Depot. What you need to know.
Life isn't easy when you're overweight. Even the simplest things can be a real effort. I even had to undo my zipper when I sat down just to feel comfortable. Finally, enough was enough. I called Jenny Craig.
New Year's resolution not working? Call Jenny Craig at 1-800-JENNY20 and get back on track. Now lose 20 pounds for $20 plus the cost of food.
Now that I'm 45 pounds lighter, I feel so much happier. Now, about that zipper thing.
Sheila.
Josh, let me in.
Oh, thank you. I gotta have some of this. And our microwave's broke.
Sometimes you gotta have the Mac. Craft Easy Mac. Need a snack? Snack the Mac!
The appeal of Charlottesville are the mountains.
Natural beauty surrounds Charlottesville, Virginia, where hiking trails wind through rolling hills, while morning mist burns off the Rivanna River.
So I think people really are attracted to Charlottesville if they have an outdoors lifestyle.
The outdoor lifestyle nets plenty of praise from parents who bring their children to a scenic public park on the outskirts of the city called Darden Tow Park.
It's out in the country a little bit, so it's nice and clear and crisp, and it tends to be a little windy here, but it's a nice country setting.
Wide open spaces and acres of playing fields mean the park is usually teeming with activity. Lacrosse and soccer seem to score the highest with young residents.
I like the park because it's got a lot of open spaces and good places to play soccer.
On the west side of the city, on the grounds of the University of Virginia, is another natural treasure prized by Charlottesville citizens, the Pavilion Gardens. The 10 individual gardens were at one time private, tucked behind the homes of university professors and planned as quiet spots for teaching or study.
Today, they are public gardens, and they serve a similar purpose for contemplation.
Like the university itself, the gardens were originally planned in the 1800s by Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson was himself a great gardener and horticulturist, and I think he couldn't have conceived of a university without gardens.
Charming garden gates entice students and citizens to explore each enclosed area. The curving walls were also Jefferson's unique engineering design. He considered a double brick straight wall, but counted on the single brick serpentine style to be the best.
Jefferson actually calculated how many bricks it would take to build the walls either way, and the serpentine walls won out because they took fewer bricks. But we're very happy that practical conclusion was reached because they're also very beautiful.
The curves in the walls provide warm niches for all sorts of plants, many of them historic.
The The plants in the gardens are plants that Jefferson wrote about that would have been known to him or available to him during the early 19th century.
Fruits and berries add visual interest to the gardens, as do oak leaf hydrangea and the Kentucky coffee tree. Trees were one of Thomas Jefferson's special interests, especially natives.
There are a lot of native plants like the dogwoods and the catalpas and so forth in the gardens, but Jefferson really did love, exotic plants that he learned about in Europe and brought over, in many cases himself, to the new United States.
Garden paths wind under canopies of trees, and in many cases lead to what are called capitals, architectural elements unused during the building of the university. Today, the capitals are displayed as garden ornaments and historic reminders.
You feel the history here every day, and that certainly is just a wonderful feeling to know that you're walking literally in the steps of so many others who have done such significant things for the country and the world.
Still to come on A Place to Call Home. One resident returns to her roots and helps a downtown neighborhood stay on track.
Visit the food and lifestyle category on hgtv.com for historic tours, great recipes, TV listings, and a project index packed with information. While online, check out the HGTV store for books, videos, and more.
Tonight on Design at 9. It's time to go shopping for area rugs.
There's a rug out there for everyone.
Learn what to look for on room by room. Then live a life of leisure in a lavish luxury bedroom.
I'm going to stay here.
On Decorating Sense. Design at 9. Tonight at 9 on HGTV.
Join HGTV for an exclusive look inside homes fit for a queen, Homes of Miss America. Wednesday night at 10 on HGTV, Home and Garden Television.
Hey, pal. Heartburn?
Uh-huh.
I do heartburn.
I last for hours.
I work fast.
Doctors like me.
Anything for pressure and bloating, too?
Well,
no.
That's more than heartburn. That's also gas. When you have it all, you need me to treat it all.
What a know-it-all.
Maalox Max.
Fast heartburn relief plus strong gas relief for the pressure and bloating. That's Maalox Max.
You'll come with me.
Now I'm feeling the pressure.
Maalox Max. When you have it all, treat it all.
A meal just isn't a meal without meat. But who has time to slow cook a roast? Thomas E. Wilson does. Every Thomas E. Wilson sliced beef or pork roast is cooked up to 12 hours. That's why they're tender and juicy. All you have to do is heat them for 5 minutes. 5 minutes to make an ordinary meal into something special. You do have 5 minutes, don't you? Make more out of dinner with Thomas E. Wilson.
For 4 years, we were together every minute. These days, I see him maybe once a year. But just get two of us on the phone, and there's a party going on.
Introducing AT&T Unlimited.
We do like to talk.
The first long-distance plan that doesn't keep track of how much you talk.
I pay just one flat rate, and that lets me call each of them as much as I want. And nobody looks at the clock.
$19.95 a month gets you unlimited calls to any AT&T residential long-distance customer. Make all the calls you want, whenever you want.
Today we're spread out everywhere, L.A., New York. But you'd be surprised how often we find ourselves back in that house.
Let your long distance be unlimited. To enroll, call 1-800-REACH-OUT or visit att.com/unlimited.
In Charlottesville, Virginia, the university, known by locals as UVA, adds diversity and sophistication to the city.
I came to school here in the 60s to go to college at UVA, and I just love it, the whole tradition of it.
Other traditions in Charlottesville include mingling at the farmers market or at one of the many alfresco restaurants. All over the city, outdoor dining attracts lots of locals. like in the Star Hill neighborhood, where one eating establishment sits atop a restored historic train station.
The Star Hill neighborhood is one of the very few places in the South where two major railroads cross. In the latter part of the 19th century, it was a great hub of transportation.
The neighborhood is still a hub today, thanks to its central location. Star Hill is situated between downtown and the University of Virginia's campus. After a period of decline, Star Hill is now becoming more popular, where Charlottesville residents are slowly reinvesting in this downtown neighborhood.
It's a small neighborhood, one of the smallest neighborhoods in the city, and yet it has a nice mix of houses.
One new house in the neighborhood is owned by Alvin and Patricia Edwards. Patricia grew up in Star Hill before moving away from Charlottesville, but she always knew she'd return someday.
I'm fascinated with Star Hill because it is in the middle of the city, but it feels like a neighborhood.
Both Patricia and Alvin hope their choice to build a home in the neighborhood helps Star Hill continue to blossom.
We're doing some things now to make things better, a bit more greener, homier, sort of like a neighborhood should be.
The Edwards' efforts start outside their golden yellow house, where greenery fills the space between the sidewalk and their welcoming wraparound porch.
I think the house stands out because we have a lot of flowers.
Another outstanding feature of the new house is its old-fashioned feel. The couple was careful to make sure their country-style home blended with the older houses in the neighborhood. The Edwards wanted the interior of their home to be as colorful and comfortable as the outside.
And we agreed that if we had a house built, we were going to make sure we had plenty of lights.
Hardwood floors contribute character and warmth to their open and airy living room, while Alvin's framed artwork adds interest to the walls.
You want me to cut these down for you, sir?
When they're not relaxing inside, the Edwards are working outside on their backyard flower beds, which are brightened by rich red geraniums and lemon yellow roses.
I guess I do it for peace of mind.
When the yard work is finished for the day, Alvin and Patricia love to rest on their screened-in porch, where they can admire the effect of their efforts, both in their own backyard and in the Star Hill neighborhood.
Just grown to feel very invested in this neighborhood, and I honestly can't imagine living anywhere else.
Whether it's bringing back a downtown district or preserving the city's important treasures, like the Edwards, many believe Charlottesville is a good investment.
So when we say we like Charlottesville, it's not with a naive point of view. People go to Europe, people go to big cities, people go all over the United States and still come home and call this home.
From the picturesque Blue Ridge Mountains to its bustling university, Charlottesville is a sophisticated southern city that boasts the gracious touch of Thomas Jefferson's landmark architecture. Charlottesville is a captivating city, which helps make America a great place to call home.
Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on Hgtv. Up next, Surprise Gardener. Then on Design at 9's Room by Room, it's time to go shopping for area rugs. We'll show you what to look for. And at 9:30, stick around for Decorating Sense tonight on Hgtv, Home and Garden Television.